Hello everybody, my name is Walter, and today I want to show you how you can build my ultra compact Noteblock 11x11 double vault door I showcased in my 5000 subscriber special. Link for that as well as for a welder node can be found in the description. But let's get started. So this build is in total 24 blocks wide, 25 blocks high, and the depth including the walls is 13 blocks in total. If you want to build this, you're going to need these resources here. So let's start with the normal building resources. So of course you're going to need lots and lots of building blocks. Beyond that, you're going to need a total of 275 obsidian blocks, 272 slime blocks and 11 honey blocks, plus 19 slabs. For redstone components, it's one redstone block, 306 redstone wire, 50 torches, 72 redstone repeaters, 46 comparators, a whole 105 observers. Then for sticky pistons, it's 193 and 106 normal pistons, 50 node blocks, 2 droppers, 24 hoppers, a single composter and something to fill it, as well as 3 levers. And if you go for the optional target block in the center, obviously a target block. So those were just the building components. Now you're also going to need items with a stack size of 16. I'm going to use X in this example here, but you can also use things like snowballs or similar. In total, you're going to need 137 of those, or 8 stacks plus 9. And that's all you're going to need. So let me show you how to build this door here. Now the first step is putting down the 2 droppers on top of each other and facing each other. The top dropper will be part of the future floor right at the center of the door. So the future node block or target block at the center of the closed door will basically hover right above those 2 blocks here. Once you have those in place, put a single item in the bottom dropper and nothing in the top dropper. Then we need a block diagonally down on the left. Make sure this is an obsidian block or another immovable block. Then put a comparator on top so we can take an output. The comparator should be turned on due to the single item in there. Then a raised, a lowered, and another raised block. Redstone dust and torch. Then below here we need a sticky piston with an observer powering towards the right. Diagonally up and then down 2 blocks and a redstone cross there. Then from the torch, 1 out, 1 down, a block with some wire. Then we have 2 more blocks lowered. A 1 tick repeater taking an output, running into some wire. Then towards the front we have another 2 lowered blocks. This time a 4 tick repeater and some wire. Then lowered towards the left again. 3 blocks with 2 4 tick repeaters, some wire. Then 3 blocks, raised block and a lowered block. Some wire there. 4 tick repeater, 3 tick repeater, 4 tick repeater. Then raised block here with a torch. Then we need 2 hoppers facing each other, like so. Then put down 3 blocks like in this here. A comparator in subtract mode there, and 2 in normal mode there. Then let's go over here, put an observer on top of this wire and 1 on the 4 tick repeater next to that. Block there, block here, 2 wire. Then we need to go below the entire thing and place a sticky piston facing down right there. And below it, a full block. Then in front of this comparator here, a full block with a torch to the side. Then we need 3 lowered blocks around this corner here, and then a raised block below in this dropper at the back there. 3 wire. And now we can put in 20 X inside of this dropper here, and the transfer should stop once 9X have been transferred. Now let's go to the front of the build. And here where we have this block with the wire, we need to add a torch to the right. Then to the front 2 hoppers facing each other again. And now we're going to put items in here. And the number of items will determine how long the door remains open once it has been triggered. The minimum are around 24 items. So if you just put in 24, it will open and then immediately close again. And every item beyond that adds 0.4 seconds of delay. I personally find a good compromise to be half a stack or 32, which means this remains open for around about 3 seconds. Now, let's continue on with a block diagonally in front of the hopper next to the block. So we can take an output with a comparator. This runs into a full block, then we have a lowered and a raised block. A repeater in between. Then we have another lowered and then a raised block towards the front. And then the same towards the right again. Put some wire here and one tick repeater there. Now, at this point, I would recommend putting a lever here and turning it on. This lever overrides the automatic closing of the system. So with this, you can keep it open as long as you want. And I would recommend doing this while we're building, because otherwise this here is not going to work out as intended. Now, let's continue on. From here on, we need a lowered block with a comparator running into this block. Then behind that, we need again 2 hoppers facing each other. And inside of those, we need 22 items. Then we have a lowered block again and a raised block. Another comparator. Then on the back, we have 2 blocks here, some redstone wire, and a lever here to redirect this wire. Then we need a sticky piston right there. Put the block there. Then put 2 blocks like so. We have torches below them. Now the piston is passing out, but that will be rectified in a moment by adding a piston there. And then a redstone cross there. Now let's place a block diagonally to this block between the pistons. Put some wire on top, and on the right side a torch. Then towards the back and one down we need a lowered block. Then one to the right and one to the back. 2 wire, a 1 tick repeater running into a full block. Torch on the right side, obsidian block on top. Torch on the right side, block on top, wire on top, block on the right side, torch to the back. Then we have a lowered block here with a 1 tick repeater running into a full block, then a lowered block and another raised block. Then we have a 1 tick repeater again and a torch below the 2 droppers. And now the item, as you can see, has been moved to the top dropper. So let's quickly manually move that down again. Then over here, let's add another comparator, taking an output from the bottom dropper, running into full block. Then a 1 tick repeater running into another full block. Follow that up with a torch on the side of this block. Then we have a block diagonally here. Then 3 raised blocks. Then towards the front, we have a lowered block, followed by a upside down slab to the right. And another block towards the back. Put down wire all the way over here, and then a 4 tick repeater there. This runs into a full block with 2 lowered blocks and then another raised block. 2 4 tick repeaters in this gap here. Then below this area here, we need a 5 wide strip of blocks, which should be centered along the middle axis of this door here. Put a wire on top. Then at the front of this wire, we need to go down a layer with 3 blocks to the right, and then another layer down. Put a wire on top. Then we have 3 blocks and then a raised one. 4 tick repeater, 3 tick, 4 tick. Then we have a lowered block and around the corner a raised block with some wire. Put a torch right there. Then we have again 2 hoppers facing each other. 2 blocks like that, and the third one here. We take an output with 2 comparators and the third one in the subtract mode there. Then again we have two observers looking at the wire and the first repeater after that. Block here and block there. Connect with two wire and cut off with a full block at the top there. Then we need to go in here, and above this corner we need our sticky piston with a full block below. Then add another block here with a comparator. This runs in the full block, and then towards the front and the back we have a lowered block with wire. At the back where we have our two droppers, place a torch there. Then a block there, two lowered blocks, and then wire so it connects to the block below in the hopper. And then once more 20x inside of the two droppers, and transfer should again stop at 9x. Now let's quickly go to the block and the two comparators are running into. And let's put a sticky piston right next to that with an observer to the face. Then with a one wide gap we need a block, then a lowered block with redstone cross, and then a block to the front and the back of that one. Now let's add two blocks like so, and a third one there to disconnect the wire. Then we have two obsidian blocks going up diagonally and one wire. At the front we have the same basically, so the two blocks there, and then the two diagonal blocks and the three wire. Now let's add another block here, followed by a raised block and then a lowered block around the corner. Redstone cross here, one tick repeater there, same at the back. Now it's time for some of the extenders. So we start with 3 sticky pistons, and then 2 observers directly to the last sticky piston. Then on top of that we need a T-shape of slime blocks and then 2 sticky pistons, making this something of a fork shape. Same at the front. Like this here. Then let's go back to this row of 5 blocks with the wire. First we need an obsidian block, then 2 normal blocks. Put 3 4-tick repeaters on top. Observer looking at the last one, running into a full block. Then we have a lowered block and a raised block. In between we need a 4-tick repeater. Then we need 4 lowered blocks to the front there, wire here and here. 4-tick repeater and then a 3-tick repeater. Then in this corner a full block with a torch on the side of it, block on top, and then 10 blocks in total, like so, with wire on top. Now on the inside we need first 2 torches, then 3 without torches, and then another 3, and then again 2 without torches. And now let's just do the same at the back. So again, obsidian and the 2 blocks, the repeaters, then the observer, then the blocks, wire, and the repeaters, torch, then the row of blocks with the wire, then 2 torches, 3 without, and then 3 torches. Then let's make our way to the right side, where we have in this block the comparator and the subtract mode is running into. From there we need a lowered block with another comparator running into a full block. Then we have lowered blocks to the front and the back. And then we have a lowered block towards the right, followed by 3 obsidian blocks going up diagonally. Put down wire on all of these except for the last obsidian and this block there. Then let's add another lowered block here, then a raised block and a lowered block around the corner. Redstone cross here, and a 1-tick repeater there. This we are going to quickly mirror. Then it's time again for the extenders. So here we start with 4 sticky pistons in a row, followed by an observer. Then on top of that, we need 5 slime blocks. Then sticky pistons to the front and the back. Then a lowered block here, where we are going to take an output with a repeater that runs into a node block. On top of that, we have an observer. Then on top of that, an obsidian block, and then some wire. And now let's quickly mirror that again. So we are going to need again the 4 sticky pistons, observer, then the slime blocks, sticky pistons, then the lowered block with the repeater, running into a node block with an observer on top, and then the obsidian and the redstone cross. Now at this point we can give this a proper test run. For that, just flick off the lever from before a few moments, and we should see all of this here extending, like so. Now if we were to grab the item from the top dropper and place it back into the bottom dropper, we should see first this pumping action and then a complete retraction, like this here. Now let's continue on with an observer next to this redstone cross there, going to the front in this case. Then in front of that full block, then we go up to the right with a full block, and then towards the back with 2 raised obsidian blocks. And before we place the wire, we need a block on top of this wire so it's not redirected. Then we can place this rewire and the 2-tick repeater. Now at the back we do basically the same. So observer, then the 2 blocks. Then towards the front in this case we have our 2 raised obsidian blocks, this rewire, and a 2-tick repeater. Now, next up, on top of this, this actually needs to be a repeater. Yeah, accidentally placed a converter there earlier. But on top of this repeater, we need an obsidian block. Then diagonally up a normal block. And then towards the other obsidian blocks, another obsidian block. Now let's just place a wire on top of these. The same at the back there. Or at the front in this case, to be more precise. Like so. Then let's grab a sticky piston, place it here. Then we need a slime block on top and a sticky piston to the side, and then 2 slime blocks to this side again. And the same over here. So we have again on the outside our sticky piston with the slime block, the sticky piston, and the 2 slime blocks. And with that, the circuitry for the bottom is basically done. So let's get to the moving parts. For that, we start at the middle here with 4 slime blocks and then 2 to the right. Over here, 3 and then 1 to the left. Then we can add 2 normal pistons here and there. Then obsidian block here and another one diagonally there. Slime block there and another 3 on top. And then 3 honey blocks over here. Then in between here, we need 3 normal pistons. And then on the outside, on top of the torches, we have sticky pistons. And otherwise, we have the normal pistons again. Then we can also top all of the pistons, slime, and honey blocks with movable blocks. And now let's quickly mirror this. Strange bug there. Anyway, let's continue on with the pistons. And then the normal blocks. And now it's time for a test run. So let's flick the lever off for a moment. And we should see this here extending and forming a kind of pyramid-like shape. Then if we were to grab the item from the top and put it into the bottom dropper again, this here should retract and flatten out. Like in this here. That looks very good indeed. Now it's time for some obsidian blocks or other immovable blocks to make sure nothing else in the floor gets stuck. So I'm just going to make sure that everywhere where I have slime blocks involved, or honey blocks for that matter, I also have those in place. So that is all on this side. And then I still have these here, and yeah, don't need the last one since that would be below the future wall anyway. So, and now I just need to fill in the rest of the floor with normal blocks. And since we can't reach the bottom dropper anymore, I've added a lever at the top here for now, if I want to test things out. Furthermore, on the right side in the middle of the floor, we actually need immovable blocks because there will be a sticky segment coming in from the side. Now, it's time for the right side, and here you have to be careful when you follow the tutorial. This is very dense and very confusing circuitry, and if you get anything wrong, this is not going to work. Especially the orientation of the observers is a potential hazard here. But let's get started. So first we are going to this upside down step here, add 2 normal blocks, and then we go up twice with blocks, put down 3 wire, a torch, block on top, torch on top, block on top, and then towards the back a node block. Then down here we need a sticky piston in front of this wrist wire. On top of that an observer connected to the slime blocks, put a sticky piston on top and a normal piston on the outside. Then grab an obsidian block, place it next to the sticky piston down there, then towards the outside one more. Then we go further up with a normal block and then towards the front twice with normal blocks again. Put a wire on top, like so. Then next to this normal block, place a sticky piston and then 2 below that. Put 5 slime blocks in a column in front. Then we need a sticky piston on the outside and on top. And at the back there, we actually need an observer running into this top slime block there. Then put a obsidian block diagonally in front of this sticky piston there. So then let's quickly mirror this. So on this side, we need to go a little down from this block there with the 2, then the 2 raised ones. And that is the mirroring done, I think, except for this obsidian block here. Then let's go back to the front half again. And here we need next to this top slime block an obsidian block. Then from there we go 3 times down with obsidian blocks and once up with a normal block. Put the wire on top. Then from this block we have 5 sticky pistons stacked. Diagonally above the top one we have an observer powering downwards. This all connects via 5 slime blocks. Then we have 2 sticky pistons in the middle there. Then on the back we have an observer on top of this node block and then one looking at the observer and running into the sticky piston there. On the front half it's a little bit more complicated. We have an observer on top. Then a normal piston powering backwards. Then above the space this piston would extend into, we have another observer. Then one looking at it from the left. One looking at that one from the back and running into a full block. Then a normal piston extending towards the right. Then we have an observer looking at the space in front of the normal piston there. And that runs directly into a node block. Below that, we need an observer looking at it, as well as above. Node block on top, observer on top. And while we're here, let's actually place a sticky piston and then a spit out composter filled to the very brim with whatever you can find. Now let's go down again. And first we add another block here to the side of this normal block with a comparator on top. Behind that we need a raised block with some wire on top, and then a lowered upside down slab with another comparator running into a full block with a torch on top. Now on this side we do basically the same. So we have the two blocks here, then a raised block, and then the lowered upside down slab and raised block. The torch and the wire, then the two comparators, and in this case a third comparator running into a full block. Now let's continue on over here with an observer looking at this torch running into a full block. Then two below that we need an observer with a redstone cross on top running into a full block. Then an upside down slab next to that with a redstone dot on top. Then in front of this here we need two sticky pistons. Then slightly behind that 3 normal pistons, and then above that and to the inside 4 sticky pistons. Now let's continue on with extending this torch tower by 1 torch. And over here we need an obsidian block, then a hopper, then another obsidian block, 2 wire, a 1 tick repeater. Then on the next layer we need first an upside down slab, and then 2 hoppers, and then just wire all the way to this side here. And now we just need to mirror this on this side over here. Just like in this here. Then let's grab a couple observers. The first one looks at this top observer here from the left. Then we have one looking at that one from the bottom, running into a full block. At the back here we have one looking at this observer, which is on top of the node block. Then one on top, one at the front, and then finally one at the top there. Those two should now trigger more or less the same piston. One here, one there. Yep, that works out. Okay, let's go over to the side here. First, let's place a block there with some redstone wire on top. Then a raised block. And on this side, since we have the node block, a lowered upside down slab. And then a full block. Comparator here. And on this side, we have a raised block, then a lowered block, and another raised block. And another comparator in this gap here. And I was actually a little bit too fast with the 2 comparators here. Those need to be placed a bit later. For now though, let's place a full block next to this redstone cross here and the observer. Then a lowered block there. 4 tick repeater taking output, and then running directly into a sticky piston facing downwards with a full block below. Then on top of this redstone cross, we need a full block. On top of this block, a torch. Put a block here with a 1 tick repeater running into a full block. Then we have an upside down slab with some redstone and dust. Over here we have 2 upside down slabs and a normal block there. Then above this corner we need a sticky piston facing downwards with a block which is now hovering above this corner there. Now put the comparator in subtract mode here. Another one there, some wire connecting the two. Now we need a pair of hoppers facing each other, like so. Then 2 blocks like so. Wire here, a 4 tick repeater running into it, and a torch on the side of this block. And now in this hopper here, which is in the middle line of the door, we need to put 25 eggs. And the transfer should stop at 12 eggs transferred, at which point we can replace the two comparators I placed or removed just a moment ago. Then let's go to the inside again. And here we need a couple obsidian blocks on the front. This needs to be diagonally down from this observer, which is running into the normal block. Put a redstone cross on top and then obsidian on top of that. Over here, it's diagonally from this one here. Again, redstone cross and block on top. And you can see this is symmetrical, same height and same distance to the middle. Then let's go a bit further up and place a block behind the repeater here on top, and then one further diagonally up, 2 wire. Then another block there, and then we make our way down here so we can place 2 observers powering downwards. Then a block in this corner. Put a 40 repeater here, another one there. And then a node block on top of this observer here. And depending on which state this block down here is, you may have to click on the node block so it's properly retracted. Then we just need another block here and a comparator in this spot there. Following that, let's place a block on top of sticky piston on top of this block with an observer powering upwards, running into a full block. Then we have a lowered block and a raised block with a 40 repeater in between. Then we have another raised block, lowered block, then 3 raised ones and 1 lowered. With all wire all the way to over there. Then over here, we have 2 sticky pistons staggered with observers below. And the same on this side here, so it's symmetrical, again with observers below. Following that, let's grab an upside down slab and place it next to this node block at the back there. Then we need 2 wire here. Normal block there with an comparator running into a full block. Then we have 3 blocks to the front and the back raised. Wire on these blocks, except for the middle ones, which have comparators going outwards. Then from here we go first down with a normal block and then an obsidian block. Don't forget the wire on top. Same over here. Then from this block in the middle, we need 2 sticky pistons stacked on top of each other. Then an L shape of slime blocks around it. Observer at the back there and here. Sticky pistons in front of them. And the same over here. And at that point, we should be able to give this at least a little bit of a test run. So let's flick the lever over here and see if this is working as intended. And besides of this flickering in the beginning, which will rectify itself once we have a proper setup going, this looks pretty good so far. All of the pistons are extended. The same down here. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, then if we flick the lever, this should also retract all in all. And yeah, that looks pretty good so far. And now it's time for the mechanical parts again. So we start with 2 honey blocks in front of this bottom piston. Then we go down with another 3. 2 in front of the top piston and 1 up. Then we need node blocks at those spots. Below them we need observers powering downwards and running into full blocks. Then on either side of the slime at the back there we need 2 normal pistons. Then next to this middle piston on each side we need another obsidian block. Then let's go to the bottom there. Slime blocks in front of those pistons here. Then in front of this piston in the obsidian, we need a 2x2 of slime blocks with 2 normal pistons on the outside. Then here, first 3 slime blocks to the front and then 2 up. And 3 of the normal pistons on the outside. Then just a bar of 3 slime blocks in front of that obsidian block we just placed. Up here, another 2x2 with 2 normal pistons again. And that's pretty much all we need to do. So let's just skip ahead and place the blocks in front of the slime blocks and pistons. And then let's give this a test run by clicking the lever down here. And if everything works properly, we should get in this shape right here. And now let's just click on the node block. And this should open and flatten out properly. Yep, that looks good. So this means we don't need the lever anymore. And now we need to put in the obsidian blocks. So at the top, we need one there and then a couple over here. Basically just following this upper edge a bit. And the bottom is a bit more complex since we have the slime blocks in the middle. And also at the back there moving all over the place. Then one up there. And the last one down there. Yeah, and now I just need to fill in the rest with normal blocks. And with that, the right side is done. So it's now time for the left side. For that, we start with a block on top of this repeater here, with this wire running directly into it. Torch on top, obsidian block on top, torch on top, obsidian block on top. Then the same basically 2 to the front and to the back. So torches and obsidian. And the second torches, no obsidian. Then obsidian blocks to the left with redstone dust on top. And an obsidian block on top of that. Then at the bottom here, we need first 2 lower blocks to the left with some wire and a 2-tick repeater. Then an obsidian block there. An observer on the left powering downwards, running into a sticky piston. On top of that, another 2 sticky pistons going to the front. And then an observer right in front of the sticky piston powering upwards. Now let's do the same over here. Basically just mirrored. Then, for now at least, just 2 slime blocks in front of the sticky pistons. Then on the inside, we need next to the bottom and the top sticky piston, obsidian blocks. Then we add one more. And go one further up with normal blocks. Redstone wire all the way down. Then 4 sticky pistons going down, connected with slime blocks. Then let's go back to these double extenders here. And first we need 2 slime blocks going towards the front there. And then on top of that 2 towards the back. Same here, just mirrored. On top of that, and then an observer. And on the inside there, in front of them sticky pistons. Same here. Then we need first actually an obsidian block diagonally up from the top piston, like so. Then down here, going out from the top obsidian block there, a sticky piston and then an observer powering towards the left. Upside down slab there, normal block here, and then down 2 wire. And a node block in this spot there. Same over here. Following that, let's add a block here. Then we go up once and then one down. Then around the corner we go one down with a normal block, then an obsidian block, and then 2 more obsidian blocks. Put down 3 wire, 3-tick repeater, and then wire all the way to over there. And now we just mirror this on this side over here. Like so. And then all that's left are 3 sticky pistons. Ah, come on. On the front and the back. Like this here. Then let's go back to the middle part here and place some observers hovering above the sticky pistons. Then connect them with 2 slime blocks each. Add sticky pistons on top and on the outside. Then we also need sticky pistons on top of those node blocks with observers powering upwards. Hovering above them, we need a full block with another full block to the side with some redstone wire on top. Then put a full block on top of the redstone wire. On the back now, add an upside down slab in the spots right next to the gaps. This is where we can place a couple of comparators going outwards, running into a full block with a full block behind them. And then just some wire on top of those blocks in the middle. Next, let's go to the corner here. First add 2 blocks and then 2 wire and a 1-tick repeater. This runs directly into an observer with a block below. Then we need a node block in front of the observer and below there. Over here, let's place 2 diagonal blocks like so with wire on top. Then on top of the node block here, another observer with again some wire. Then on the inside here, we need below this node block a normal piston. And then, looking at the space it might expand into, we need one of those observers running the obsidian block there. Then, on top of this last wire here, we need 2 normal pistons, then 3 sticky pistons, and then recessed again 2 normal pistons. Now let's quickly mirror in this setup. Now let's go to the middle here and add first 1 torch on top of that obsidian block on top, then torch to the outside. And on top of that torch now we need a hopper with an observer on top, block on top, and then a sticky piston on this side here. Then let's go and place 3 blocks in a row here with comparators going outwards, wire in the middle. Then here we need an upside down slab with some wire. This runs into a full block with a torch on the side of it and a block on top of that. Then to either side we have a obsidian block with a 3-tick repeater on top. Then an observer looking at the repeater. And running into some wire on top of another obsidian block, like in this here. Grab an upside down slab and place it on top of this wire down there. On top of that we need a comparator running into a full block. The comparator needs to be in the subtract mode. Then on the front side of the door we need a block there, an obsidian block to the right? Then we can place some wire here, a second comparator there. Then temporary block up here, so we can place a sticky piston facing downwards with a full block to the face. Then place down two hoppers facing each other right here. An obsidian block on the side of the hopper in the very middle. Torch here, wire on top, then an obsidian block up there, and we relocate or redirect the wire with a lever here. Then obsidian block here, and a raised obsidian block there. Vertical repeater on top. Then a hopper here, followed by an upside down slab. Another vertical repeater here, some redstone wire there. Then, and that is going to be a little bit tricky, first a block here. And then we need an observer powering downwards here and here. Okay, that looks good. Now we can connect this with a little bit of wire here, some wire there, a one tick repeater here, a 4 tick repeater there. Then we can place the two blocks below, like so. And now we can place 2 stacks or 32x inside of this hopper here, which is in the center line. And the transfer should stop at 12x. Once that is done, we can also place the blocks in front of those comparators over here. Then let's add another block to the side of this one here, some wire on top and a comparator. This runs into a full block with some redstone wire on top. Then we have a raised and a lowered and another raised block around the corner there. In this gap, a comparator. Then on top of that, and going inwards, 3 blocks. And then we go towards the middle of the door, twice down diagonally with obsidian blocks. Wire on top of all of these here. Then let's grab some sticky pistons and place them starting at the back there. 3 down. Then 1 over. Looking at the block with the comparator on top, we have another observer. These need to be connected with an L shape of slime blocks. Then we just have another sticky piston here and here. And while here we might as well add an obsidian block here and over there. And now let's make a quick mirror image of all of this. And we're almost done with the circuitry, so let's continue with 4 slime blocks hovering above this sticky piston there and topped with a redstone block. Then we need an obsidian block right there with some wire on top. I also need an obsidian block in this and this spot here next to the pistons. And that's pretty much all of the circuitry done, so let's give this a test run. Click the lever and see if this is all extending properly. That looks pretty good indeed. Now for the retraction. Pumping action. Last retraction. And pulse. Okay, that looks good. Now let's add the missing parts. Let's start down here with 2 slime blocks in front of this sticky piston here with a normal piston on the outside. Then here we have just a bar of 2. Then at the back there, 1 wide gap and then an L shape. Same over here. Don't forget about the 2 normal pistons on the outside. Then here we have an L shape that is a bit longer and too high. Again, 2 normal pistons. Then above and this we have, let me see, an L shape that is 1 block apart from the sticky piston and 3 high. Then let's add in the 3 normal pistons on the outside again. And then finally we have a bar of 2 slime blocks again. Okay, that should be pretty much all. So let's add in the blocks to the front of the slime blocks and pistons. Like so, and give this another test run. And that looks very good. Now for the opening. And everything flattened out. Okay, perfect. Now for the slime blocks, or obsidian blocks. So again, we need to make sure that everywhere where the slime blocks get involved, up to the max height at least, we have obsidian blocks. Of course, don't forget the middle part there, or this will not work at all. Now at the bottom, we have those two. Then these here all the way to the bottom, actually. Then these here, and these here. And again, basically all the way to the bottom there. And over here the same, more or less. Like so. Did I forget anything? Yeah, I forgot almost in this part here. So that should be all, and the rest now can be filled in with normal blocks. And that is the left side done. I gave it another test run and it worked perfectly fine. Now it's time for the top part, and for that we're going to start on the right side again. Go to this note block here, and the first thing we need is a block diagonally up to the outside, then to the front, and then we have 4 blocks in a row like so, and another block right there. Put some wire on top of all these blocks and also the note block. And then we need 3 4-tick repeaters running into a full block with a full block to the side, redstone torch on the left side, and now we have again 2 hoppers facing each other, just like that. Then we need 3 blocks in an L shape like so. Like so. Comparators here, and a third one in subtract mode there. Then, as usual, we have our hovering sticky piston with the full block below. Then observer on top of this wire and the first repeater. Redstone cross here. A block or full block on top of that one there. Then we have a block here with some wire. And a torch to the side. Then block below in this hopper at the back there. And then 3 lower blocks around the corner with some wire. And now place 20x inside of this hopper here, and the transfer should stop at 9x. Then grab a full block and place it in front of this wire. Following that, we have a lowered then a raised block, and then 2 lowered blocks around the corner here. Put wire on those. A 1-tick repeater in this gap. The wire runs into a full block with a sticky piston next to that and an observer. Then 1 wide apart, we need an obsidian block with some wire on top. Then over here, add a block with a comparator. This runs into a full block. Then we have 2 blocks going towards the front. Then we go down twice with obsidian blocks. Put a wire on top. Sticky piston here with an observer going sideways. Now let's quickly mirror this. Then grab some sticky pistons, place 3 in a row here, followed by an observer. Connect them with 4 slime blocks, and then we need sticky pistons all around. And the same on this side here. And that's the majority of the right half already done. Which means it's time to look towards the left side. Here we start by going up twice from this line here. Then this time we have 5 blocks in a row. 2 wire at the top there and wire all the way down. Again, 3 40 repeaters. And now we're more or less building a mirror image of at least the analog part of the circuitry. So raised block with wire, then raised block with torch, the 2 hoppers, then the 2 blocks here, last block there, 3 comparators with this one here being in the subtract mode, then the hovering sticky piston with the block below. We have our 2 observers with the block and the wire. Over here we have a raised block with wire on top, and we can already place this block with the comparator there. Then on the side with the hoppers we have a torch, then 3 lower blocks around the corner and a raised block right there. Connect those with some wire. And now let's put in our last 20x in here, and transfer should once more stop at 9x. Then let's go to the spot down here again and place a sticky piston with an observer powering towards the back. Over here we need another sticky piston with an observer powering towards the left, running into another sticky piston with an observer powering towards the front, running into a full block, and I just noticed I have 2 obsidian blocks over there I don't really need. So anyway, from this block on, let's continue with 2 lowered blocks with wire. Then we need 2 lowered blocks towards the front, another lowered block and a raised block. Wire on those 3 and 1 tick repeater here. Then we have 3 raised obsidian blocks, then 2 raised normal blocks, 2 lowered blocks, and 2 raised blocks. Below these we need sticky pistons, then normal pistons, sticky pistons, and then 3 normal pistons. Top all of this here with wire. Then we need to do this on the other side too. For that we need first an obsidian block, then a raised normal block, then another obsidian block. And then we can just basically build a mirror image of this. Like in this here. Now let's go to the middle part here. And first we need 2 lowered obsidian blocks, then a raised one and another lowered one, then a raised one, lowered one. Then we go 1 down, and then we have 3 going sideways. Now, 2 wire, a 3 tick repeater, some wire here and there, and a 1 tick repeater there. Then at the top here, a block right there, then obsidian blocks lower to either side and to the front. Then we can remove this. Then we have another one at this height, and then we go down twice. Put down wire all the way to over here. Make sure you're not putting any wire on this block here, so this does not connect. That is very important. Then over here we have comparators going outways, running into full blocks with obsidian blocks to the side with some wire. Same here. And then we have 4 sticky pistons in a row, followed by an observer. Below that 5 slime blocks with sticky pistons on the end. And now we just built the same on this side here. And I just noticed I actually build those two extenders here one block too low. Not really a big issue. The fix is very simple. All we need to do is move one of those here up by a block. Then grab something like a lever and give it a little pulse. And there we go. Okay, this is now all at the correct height. Now, let's continue on. Over here, we need a normal block and an obsidian block. Furthermore, towards the left of the build, we need to lower obsidian blocks. Put wire on top. Then we need a sticky piston and another one there. Put down 5 slime blocks in a row. Then an observer there, another observer here. Sticky piston here and there. And back there. Then another observer there. A normal piston next to the sticky piston. And then we need an observer running into this sticky piston here from the side and looking at where this piston here would extend into. And now we just need to mirror this on this side over here. And with that, we're getting close. So let's continue with an obsidian block when we're looking at the front on the right of this raised one here. And also the right of this raised one here. Then we have one tick repeater running into a raised obsidian block. Then we have a lowered obsidian block to the right. And then we also have another one diagonally like so. And the same we need also over here. So again, making sure this is in the correct spot. Then the output running into an obsidian block. Then we have the obsidian block over here. And the obsidian block around the corner over there. And that is pretty much all in place except for the mechanical parts. So let's give this another test run as usual. And let's see if everything up here is properly extending. Okay, that looks good. Now let's see if it also retracts properly. Okay, we have the double action. And everything returned. Okay, that is looking very good indeed. So now it's time for the mechanical parts. For that, let's start here in the corner with just 3 slime blocks going straight down. Then with a one high gap, we have a little L shape. We're also going to need a normal piston there. Then let's quickly mirror this. Like so. Then, again, from the front, we have in the very center a very big L shape that goes to this height and then towards the right. And below the other ones with a one high gap, we have an L shape that goes towards the left. And the same again over here. And as usual, we have our normal piston in those spots here. Then, next up, we have another small L shape. And another one over here. Like so. Then on the inside, we have, again, just 3. And then on the outside, we have a bar of 3. Again, like so. And now let's check. I think we forgot the normal pistons here. and here, and also over here. Okay, now let's just quickly add the blocks below the slime and pistons. And then it's time for another test run. And that looks very good indeed. So let's see if it also opens properly. And that's exactly what we want to see. Okay, now it's time for the obsidian again. So we have one here, we have some there, and we have all of these here. We also have the center part there. And let's see, those are moved down twice, so that shouldn't be an issue. Over here, on the other hand, we have these here. And also this one, and this one. And also these here. Yeah, and with that, once more, it's just filling in the rest of the ceiling. And while I'm at it, I might as well finish the build with, well, adding the front and the back wall, a bit of the floor, and maybe some lighting. And there we go. The door is now finished and works as intended. And as I already mentioned in the beginning, you can easily replace the node block here with a target block and then open the door with a projectile. And with that, we have reached the end of this tutorial for my ultra compact Noteblock 11x11 double vault door. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. I wish you a nice day, and well, see ya.